U.S. Farm Report from the 2022 Commodity Classic is brought to you by Golden Harvest. Everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen. By New Holland, your partner for every season. Visit newholland.com to learn more. By Taranis, the only crop intelligence platform that delivers end-to-end leaf-level insights that simplify management and improve the bottom line. And by the United Soybean Board, your soy checkoff, moving soy forward, moving you forward.
Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report this weekend in New Orleans from Commodity Classic. All right, Chip, we didn't really talk much about Ukraine and the situation there. A lot has happened this week. But as we look at, okay, are Ukrainians going to get their crops planted this year? In your mind, what would be the best case scenario?
Best case scenario is that the bombings stop, the killings stop, Russia leaves, and we get back to a Ukrainian rule in Ukraine. That's the best case scenario. I can't claim to know what's going to happen here. I don't think anybody can claim to know what's going to happen. But that doesn't seem to be in the cards with Putin's aggression, with the brutality that he has already exhibited, his willingness to lie and call a ceasefire and break it immediately, is very, very troubling and suggests that getting a crop out of Ukraine, getting supplies out of Russia in the year ahead, 2 years ahead, seems unlikely. And I don't think the market is prepared for not getting any supply out of Ukraine in the year ahead.
Yeah, Chip, do you think that is a real possibility? You look at the infrastructure that's already been damaged. I mean, we hope that they can get a crop, but when you have roads bombed out, when you have infrastructure now that's just not there, do you think it's possible that they can't even plant this year?
I do. I think it's a strong possibility. They're essentially on the same growing season as, kind of the I states, the I-80 corridor. I mean, if you think about it, we don't like planting corn much past the first week or so of June. That's less than 90 days away. And, you have to question at this point, is that even possible? He's not pulling out of there. They may stop bombing, but he didn't go into Ukraine for the idea of pulling back out in a month. So he's there to stay. I think it's possible in the West, they maybe get some crop in the ground, but they have so many issues. They can't get seed and fertilizer where it needs to be. Roads, bridges are bombed out. They're running out of fuel. So I just question whether they can get much in the ground.
So if we do not see a crop out of Ukraine, if we don't see a crop out of Russia, how tight will supplies become?
Well, let's keep in mind they were tight already before this happened. Because of other dynamics, we were already tightening up the balance sheet. And so if you take all the world supply of corn, you take China off of it, because we believe USDA is overstating Chinese corn supplies by about 49 million metric tons. You take the United States off, what's the situation in the rest of the world? According to USDA data, it's about a 34-day supply, the tightest in 20 years. So there wasn't any room for margin before that. Then you take away a year's production. And our customers in Ukraine, farmers have a can-do attitude. If they can do it, they're going to do it. And our customers in Ukraine are saying there is no incentive to do this. There's numerous reasons. The winter wheat looks good where the wheat tank tracks haven't gone over it. About 50% of the fertilizer was in place prior to this happening. Some of that got applied top dress in the western part of the country prior to the war breaking out. Then everything came to a halt. Now we even wonder if that'll get harvested.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't imagine. But Chip, are we seeing any export activity at all in the Black Sea region right now?
Well, I'm sure that there are some bushels making their way out, whether it be by truck, whether it be by rail, making its way into Asia. But trade has been restricted significantly coming out of the Black Sea. Obviously, yeah.
Chip, you agree?
I agree 100%. I'm certainly not an expert on it, but maritime insurance, if there's an active war, all insurance is null and void. So there's not much shipping out of there. There's talk of maybe railing some grain through Poland to get to a port. That's just incredibly difficult.
So Arlen, what's your advice for feed users right now when you look at this crisis and we don't have a handle on the impact?
We're going to see a lot of volatility like we've seen for quite some time. There'll be times it calms down. So the one thing you're going to need to do is have a plan, write it down, know what your needs are, try to take some of the emotion out of it, and when we get the breaks in prices, take advantage of it. As we talk to customers around the world, the big thing is now trying to get coverage of your needs if you're an end user, to make sure you have that coverage. Not just protection, but actual physical coverage. That's more true overseas than it is here, but that's certainly going to be the story of the year ahead.
All right, let's take a break, and we'll be right back.